Hello makeup void, I'm Trin and welcome back to my channel. This makeup look is fire and my mental health is a dumpster fire. So if my eyes look red, it's because my eyes are actually watering, not because I spent all of yesterday crying. Okay, so we are doing a No Pan Left Behind update today. I am filming this early, but I do my makeup every single day, and most days I do not stray from my No Pan Left Behind palettes. Most of the time I am reaching for these. Some days I go a little bit rogue, like today I went 100% rogue, didn't use any of my No Pan Left Behind projects, eyeshadow palettes, because I just didn't want to. I wanted to feel cute and confident and do something different, so that's what I did today. Give this video a like, subscribe, let me know how your mental health is doing down in the comments below. I am reading them and I am responding to them. Who am I? So bring it on. Let's go ahead and get rolling. Okay, let's start with the palette that I'm not rolling out, which is the Lethal Cosmetics Evergreen palette. I think, to me, this screams winter. This is a very winter palette to me, and as always, I will put up looks that I've created with all the palettes. Granted, my husband removed my SD card from my phone, so I lost like a bunch of photos. So hopefully I have looks. I should have the majority should have looks, but I don't know if I have them for every single one. So I only use this palette 2 times. I focus on the greens. I just felt really intimidated by the purple. I don't know why the purple exists in this palette. I think they were trying to be edgy and cool and different and bring another vibe, and I just don't know what to do with it. So I kind of look at this palette and immediately feel stumped. So that's why I really didn't make an effort to use this palette at all. Now, I have not announced it, but November will be my last update. Well, like December 1st. I'm not taking this project into December because I have another project that I'm doing for December. If you're new here, every video on my channel is a project. So I will probably No Pan Left Behind this next month as we go into October, but I really would prefer to savor this palette for December, but we're not doing No Pan Left Behind in December. So it's gonna, my goal is to roll this out. If you are new to this project, I either have to No Pan Left Behind the palette or use the palette 7 times. That is an arbitrary number that I picked out. I finally did it, the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. This palette, I did not know Pamela, blah blah blah. I did not know pan left behind. I did hit 7 uses and called it good. So I've already had this pan in this palette for a long time, so it's not like, oh, I can buy a new eyeshadow palette, I can hit pan. No, I didn't do that. I kind of wanted to try hitting pan on this blue down here, but it's a cream to powder formula and I hate the cream to powder formulas, so I pretty much only use it as a wing, which is the way I would hit pan on that shadow. But every time I talk about this palette, I'm not enamored, I'm not inspired. I think it's a great formula. Granted, I don't like cream to powder formulas, like I just said, but overall, I love the formula of this palette, but it doesn't bring anything exciting to the table. I'm very underwhelmed. The 2 times that I used this palette, I was filming a video, and I was just like, hey, look, this is what's on my eyes, I'm using it for my project, and yeah. So, use it 7 times and rolling this palette out. I am happy to put it in my makeup memories box and probably never use it again. Let's just be real here. Next, I am pretty sure I No Pan Left Behind this palette, and we're going to say that I did because it is the Adept Cyber Acquire palette. I'm thinking that I did No Pan Left Behind this palette. I used it 5 times, and for me, I think I have. But I don't know, but we're rolling it out because 5 times I probably used every shadow in this palette. I just feel like rolling it out. So I think this is a beautiful palette. I think the mattes are very sheer. I think they are hard to build up, but they get the job done. Did I use this red? I think I did. Hold on. Let me go through my eyeshadow palette list because maybe we're not rolling out this palette. If I know for a fact that we did not use the red shadow, then we're going to keep in the project. So I lied 4 looks. Who am I kidding? I did use the red. Okay, I used the red. So we're rolling out this palette. That's what we're doing. Great palette. The Adept formulas or Adept metallics, shimmers, holochromes cannot be beat. They are my absolute favorite, but in terms of mattes, they're just really bad. I did not purchase their last two releases. I really wanted to, but just something held me back every single time. Maybe come Black Friday, maybe because of a sale, I'll pick up those palettes, even though they blatantly said one was limited edition. Maybe the other one I'd pick up. I don't know, but I'm happy the majority of their palettes are shimmers, holochromes, metallics, multichromes, and not focused on mattes, because the mattes are just, also the mattes are weird. They don't really make sense with the shimmers in the palette. Another reason why I don't like Adept mattes, there's no cohesion compared to the shimmers. So it's really hard, at least for me, to use the matte to create a cohesive eye look. That's my opinion. That's what I'm sticking to. Next up, we have the Ace Beauté Flare palette. This palette I thought was going to be really challenging for me, and I wasn't enamored to reach for this palette, but actually I really liked every look I did with this. At first I was very underwhelmed. Now, okay, the shimmers in here are pretty shitty. I mean, they're not bad, but you need a glitter primer to make them pop. Just point blank period, you need a glitter primer. These cannot exist with just fingers alone, which is the majority of the ways that I apply my metallics. So, but the mattes in here are so good. So phenomenal. They blend easily, they're pigmented, but they're not too intense. You can build them up without going to the absolute extreme, which is so nice. I love this pop of blue. I love this pop of mint. The pink was beautiful. This taupey mauve shade doesn't really go with the rest of the palette, but it's fine. It's fine. It makes a good transition shade. A look I did was with the pink and the taupe. I think I took a little bit of the brown in the outer corner, but I had so much fun with this palette, and it's great for fall. Absolutely phenomenal for fall. I'm glad I brought it into this project. Okay, and lastly, I had my singles from the Fancy Cosmetica Sorcerer palette. So I'm pretty sure I used all of these shadows. Again, I used it 3 times, which for 5 shadows should have been no pan left behind. I'm pretty confident that I did, so I'm going to call this as a rule out. These shimmers are absolutely gorgeous, absolutely phenomenal. Loved every look I did with these. I did actually have quite a bit of fun. So in my deck of panning, I have the ColourPop Super Shock in the shade Deck, and so one day I actually used this as a base for a shimmery base, and then use my Sorcerer shadows as just like toppers on top of it, and it was such a fun, amazing look. Wasn't my most favorite look? No, but I had so much fun creating it, so this was a really good combo. So let me pull up my phone to my spinning wheel of death, which is what it should be called, because we are rolling out 4 palettes. And half of them I'm like, I'm pretty sure I know I'll find this, I'm pretty sure I do. I really need to start doing, I won't, but I should, is create a little chart like I did with the Metropolis palette and like tally each of the shades that I use, so I can actually keep track and not rely on my shitty memory. Okay, is this palettes? Is this all of them? Is it really? Is this all of them? I don't know. Let's just do it. Okay. Retro. Natasha Denona Retro. Okay, this is probably my second favorite Natasha. So we started off with Yucca in this project, then we went to Metropolis, now we're going to Retro. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a great time. Is it a best palette for fall? I don't know. This one's a 7 usage. This is the Blend Bunny Dollhouse palette. I will show y'all when I grab it as to why it's 7 uses. Let's do this again. This is a great time to just be bringing on all this nonsense. Let me know if you're okay with the volume or not on this. Unearthly Spring Magic. We already had that in this project. Already had it. I think it was like a couple months ago, so we're gonna respin. And I don't remove the shadows that were in this. Ooh, Hue to Nude. I don't take out the palettes after I use them because I will remember. I think I'm going to do this project next year, And I don't want to have to like completely redo the reel because I just hate doing that. So last palette. What is this? It's gonna be easy, but I don't like it. And that is the Natasha Denona Pastel palette. So let me grab all of these palettes and I'll be right back. Alright, so we have Natasha Denona Retro palette. This is, I think Yucca is my favorite palette, but this is pretty dang close. This is a beautiful palette. What can I say? I say it every single time. I think I had it in my neutral eyeshadow palette ranking, or maybe this was one of the palettes that just didn't enter a ranking video at all, but I adore this palette. It's going to be a good time. Is it Valentine's Day? I feel like last month we had fall vibes, and I feel like this month we have like Valentine's Day Valentine's Day vibes. Alright, Blind Bunny Dollhouse palette. Bought this palette because I wanted to end all be all neutral palette, and then I kept buying neutral palettes because I'm a dumb dork. But this is a 7 uses palette because there's no way. How many shadows are in this palette? We have 6, 12, 18, we have 30. So this is going to be 7 uses because there's no way in heck that I'm going to be able to use this entire palette even by December. So we're going to do 7 looks with this palette. I want to be more creative with this palette because I could do column by column and just be fine, but I don't want to do that. I want to force myself to be a little bit more creative, a little bit more selective with this palette. So it's going to be a ride. But I am excited to use this palette because I haven't used it all year and I got it last year. So the fact that I haven't used this palette is pretty bad. Pretty bad, but we're going with it. Next we have the Huda Beauty Nude palette. This is probably the oldest palette in my collection and I adore it so much. I have many pans in this palette. So is this going to be easy? Is it going to be hard? Time will tell. The challenging part of this is going to be the glitter, the 2 glitters, Excite, and just these 2 shades right here. We have a red glitter and a pink glitter. So those are going to be challenging because I used to tolerate a glitter, and I'm at the point now where I'm just like, not really, hard pass. So I'm going to use a glitter primer with this palette in order to make this work. I love the mattes in here. The shimmers not so much, so this is going to be a little bit of a struggle bus. I can imagine myself reaching maybe into the Dollhouse palette's great looks, like to get shimmers out. I can imagine myself reaching into some singles to get some shimmers out. I'm not too enthralled by it. Also, okay, so we're not going to count this cream shade right here because why do you exist? Like, this doesn't need to exist at all. So we're going to ignore this cream shade. So we're going to go with no pan left behind 99% of this palette. Just the 1% is going to be that. So it's going to be a ride. It's going to be a ride. And then lastly, we have the Natasha Denona Mini Pastel palette. I can easily knock this out with 1 look. Easily. But the goal is going to be 2. Let's make this 2 looks. This is going to be easy rollout. Actually, should we bring it on vacation? Should we? Because there's only 1 matte, which means I only need 1 brush, because the rest I can do my fingers with. Because I'm trying to really limit the amount of brushes I have to bring with me on vacation, so it's going to be very finger heavy very shimmer or finger heavy applying for eyeshadows. So this would actually be a fun little palette to bring a little bit of spice, and it's so mini, so compact. I think this actually would be a good time. My favorite shadow in here is this like not pastel shadow at all. It's like a green gold duochrome and it's absolutely stunning, but it doesn't belong in this palette whatsoever. I said what I said, but it's a good time. This is a good time palette. I'm excited to look forward to it. So those are the palettes that I'm bringing to No Pan Left Behind this month. Predictions, I should be able to do evergreen. I should be able to do pastel. And the rest of the palettes, I have no freaking clue. It's going to be a neutral heavy month, and I think that's going to be a challenge for me because I just love color. I just love a good colorful eyeshadow. So I think this is going to be a challenging month to really focus on neutral, something that I don't like doing, but something I'm going to do anyways because this is a project. You don't always get what you want in projects. You have to be flexible, you have to be creative. So this is actually going to push me out of my day-to-day comfort zone. I'm actually going to have to keep my look simple and just easy and a little bit grungy with Dollhouse. We have a entire row of dark grungy shades that all look the same, but we have them. So I want to thank you all so much for watching today's video. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications to see all my future videos. Whatever. I cannot think. Yesterday was such a bad mental health day that I cannot function today. So we will see how it goes. Plan for today is grocery shopping and then playing video games with my brother. It's going to be a good day. Thank you so much. As always, have joy and bye.